Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to Designer's Best. Today we're taking a look at Donald X Vaccarino. Now, Mr. Vaccarino is known for one game for sure, and that is Dominion. And it's not that he's a one-trick pony. He's designed several other games. I have a list of 5 of them. Very few of his games have come to that, although he has won the Spiel des Jahres with another game, which we'll talk about. I find most of his, not most, but I think half of his games I'm not a big fan of. I think his stuff has not come together as well for me in many of his games, but the games of his that I do like, especially the top 3, I really do enjoy those. Now, since I only have 5 of his games, I also thought I would do something else that people ask me to do very often, and I'll talk about my 5 favorite Dominion expansions that he has done, since I think they're up to 11 or 12 of those now. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 5 for me from Mr. Vaccarino is Kingdom Builder. Now, I don't hate Kingdom Builder, but neither am I totally enamored with it. But this is the game that won the Spiel des Jahres. It did very well for Queen for a while. The game was very simple. You have a hand of a card, which we still make fun of, and you play this card and put down these houses and areas on the board, trying to make groups or lines or whatever you're trying to do is based on the different scoring cards that are going to be there in any particular game. So it's essentially an abstract game, but offers a lot of variety for folks. Number 4 is Monster Factory. I tend to be a fan of any kids game in which you are building monsters, and this one does a good job of having the monsters go in different directions with necks and legs and things. And so, just a silly, fun game for kids, Monster Factory. Number 3 is Greed. Now, Greed's kind of an intriguing game because it's a really good game. It's a drafting game, and you're drafting different cards and starting illicit businesses and trying to get money from businesses. It's a game where you're a gangster, but the game is pretty dark. It's adult rated in a sense of just how dark the cards are. I mean, this is like a PG-13 maybe rating on all the different things. And I think that kind of hurt the game because the rating is, it is not a game I would want to play with kids, but the game itself is a pretty good drafting one as you draft these cards and building this tableau in front of you. And I do enjoy it. Number 2 is Android Infiltration. Now, Android, the game from Kevin Wilson, spawned a universe, and now we have Android Netrunner, the most popular. Android Infiltration is a game of push your luck, where you're going into a base, trying to get stuff and get out of it. So it's almost close to Diamant or Ink and Gold from Alan Moon and Bruno Feduzzi. This has a very similar feel to it as you're pushing your way in and then getting out, but there's just more complexities. You can go into the harder part, and there's going to be security systems and things. I thought the theme fit this one very well. And my favorite game from Donald Vaccarino is Dominion. I mean, come on now. I love Dominion. Dominion started its own genre. I mean, really, he doesn't have to design any other game for the rest of his life, and we'll always remember him as the guy who started deck building, Dominion. Dominion, I think that there are other deck building games that maybe have a better theme or do some cool things that Dominion doesn't do, but Dominion is fast, it flows together very well, and especially with the early sets, just was a finely tuned, fast, really good just game. I love it. I like playing it. I like playing it online. I like playing it offline. Just a lot of fun. So with that being in mind, let's talk about my 5 favorite expansions for Dominion. Number 5 is Empires. This is one of the large expansions. One of the things that this did, the 2 things I liked, it had these double stacked cards where there was, you had 5 cards on the top, and then when those cards were gone, there was 5 different cards on the bottom. So going through a thing of cards would get you to better cards as time went by. That was interesting, but I also liked the landmarks. Landmarks were pretty cool because they were essentially just a couple cards you could buy as an action you can take right now and do something, and they change from game to game. So it's kind of a way to bring in another set of cards without actually having another set of cards. There's a lot of additions to Dominion. I complained in my review of Nocturne, the latest one, that I don't necessarily like a lot of additions that complicate the game. This one I thought was very nicely done. Number 4 is Intrigue, the very first expansion for Dominion. Now, Intrigue I have a soft spot for because it has just more cards, right? We played Dominion. It's like, oh man, we keep seeing these same cards over and over. Intrigue doubled the amount of cards in the game. It has a couple of the meanest cards, a few cards I'll never play with, like Saboteur. But overall, it just kind of fleshed out the whole system. A little bit of attacking, a little bit of defensive stuff, a little bit of just all around the thing. And it felt like when you get Dominion and Intrigue, you have the complete game. Number 3 is Guilds. Guilds is one of the small expansions, and it's actually the only small expansion to make my list. Guilds added coins. I love the idea of coins. The games that give you little coin tokens, really cool coin tokens, and you can save them up and spend them on future turns. The whole idea of Dominion was use your money now, or you have 7, you can't buy the province. Well, now you can save up coins to do so. So I like every card in Guilds. Number 2 is Seaside. Seaside was the second expansion, or maybe this it was the second big expansion for Dominion. And this one here added duration cards. Now, duration cards have shown up in other sets for Dominion. But the thing about duration card, you play it, and it would happen now, and you leave it in front of you, and it happened on your next turn. And this offers so many cool strategies. Also, Seaside came the closest to putting a little bit of theme in Dominion with pirates and buried treasure and things like that. And I just enjoyed it. It's one of the ones that I'm like, oh man, if I'm building my sets, then I'm going to probably pull a couple cards from Seaside. And my favorite expansion for Dominion easily is Prosperity. Prosperity is the one that basically brought more money. Prosperity is the expansion I use in every game. You're technically not supposed to, but I always do, where it has, the bigger cost coins now that are higher than gold, the platinum, and the colonies that are worth 11 points. Everything was just bigger, things for more money, a card that tripled the effect of another card. I just love this huge, it like just raised the whole economy, but without breaking it, right? It's not like the cards from Prosperity are better than everything else, because again, in Deck Builder, everyone gets to use the same cards. So that was my favorite expansion, Prosperity. What are your favorite games from Donald Vaccarino? Let me know in the comments. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me what your favorite expansions are for Dominion also. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Designer's Best, Donald Vaccarino.